What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great Taco Tuesday. I am back here at the Red Brick House. Got my brother here, got my main man Jet D here. We are working on getting this place together, and nothing makes me happier. So as I was coming down the road, it actually is funny because some of you Eagle fans go crazy about, oh, Mark Holmes is, is going after my boy Philly 500 and things, and think that there's animosity between the two of us. Now, Philly 500 spams the hell out of me. Let's be clear here. He spams the hell out of me. And that's okay. He gonna find out the hard way when the season doesn't turn out the way they think it's going to. But it's all good. Like I said, he's like family here. Definitely like family. Yeah, I'm using my tape measure as a tapper or a hammer at the moment. Hold on, let me grab something real quick. I was sitting here thinking, because I was coming down the road, getting here today, and listening to, I think it was Mike Greenberg's show, and they were talking about running backs, how they can't believe that they were ranking the running backs, I think it was, and they still couldn't believe how the running backs have been devalued. But I'm going to actually say it's not actually a surprise, because what you have to understand is football is constantly evolving. And what you're seeing is the new term is position flex. We all think of things the way it used to be done. And see, the funny thing about life is, companies that'll say, hey, we're a Fortune 500 company. This is the way we do things around here. We've been doing it like this forever. But the reality is everything in life changes. And if you're of the mindset that we don't have to change and evolve, you're going to be like the dinosaurs. You are not going to make it. And that's why you have to change with the times. Now, ESPN is beginning to learn that lesson, which is why they're changing some of the talent that they have on some of the shows. They're looking at it from a different perspective and saying, we need to change with the dynamics. See, like Pat McAfee is really, really good at what he does, because being a former player and having the relationship of other players that he has and bringing them on there, it brings it to a different level. Now, I know that we're talking about ESPN does have a lot of players on their shows, the Dan Orlowskis and things like that. So I guess in some instance, I'm really just kind of talking out the side of my neck. But it's just a different feel for the way he's able to do stuff. He doesn't have the normal restrictions that the regular ESPN people do, and he's able to do things. But back to this whole idea of position flex. See, the problem when you have typically the Derrick Henrys and the Zeke Elliott's, you think about investing your money, because when you build a team, you are making investments. And you have to look at some of your investments and say, am I looking for the short investment, or am I looking for something that's going to have a more return long term? And see, that's the difference of how people are invested. You look at crypto coin. I'm not sure that crypto coin is going to be something that's going to be a long-term investment. But you look at something like, say, the power company, something that is going to be here forever. It may not give you immediate return. You're not going to get the immediate return from that. But the longevity of it, it's something that's going to be here. So when you say running back, if I'm taking a high draft pick, I'm looking at that investment and saying it's short term. it's basically about a 4-year window if it's a bellwether back. Whereas if I'm investing in, say, an offensive lineman, if you draft well, you're talking about 10 to 15 years. And so you start seeing why those guys are more valuable in the long haul. If you need an instant burst, well, hey, you can draft that running back for right now. But if you're trying to build a team for longevity, you're looking at different positions, quarterbacks, offensive linemen, tight ends. That's why those guys are getting paid more than the running backs. But I also say that offenses have changed. If you're Tony Pollard and looking to get a contract now, or if you're Saquon Barkley looking to get a contract right now, it's not the time to be trying to get a contract because you're not getting paid. You're not getting the big bucks. That's just the way it is right now. But also too, when you look at position flex, and when I say position flex, right now I say a Tony Pollard is more valuable because he can do more than just one thing. You look at Christian McCaffrey, who is considered right now the best back, position flex. He can catch 70, 80 catches in a season. That's like a wide receiver. And he can also run the football. So the thing with Christian McCaffrey is when you put him in the backfield, you don't know if it's going to be a pass or a run because he can do both of them equally well. See what I mean? And so when you have Tony Pollard, who is great as a receiving running back, who when he catches the ball can make a lot of moves out there and be really, really good with it because getting him the ball in space is the best thing. You don't want him to be running between the tackles and having to basically move the pile. He's going to get hurt. And so that's where you look at this and say, with today's offense, for example, for the Cowboys that are going to be running this West Coast offense, to me, 12 personnel is something that we should see a lot of, something that the Cowboys were very, very successful with last year. And the reason I say this is it goes back to the key term, position flex. Because here's the thing. If you are the defensive coordinator, hypothetically, let's say you see Tony Pollard as the single back there. You see Jake Ferguson, Peyton Hendershot in tight on the line, right? Typically, that's 12 personnel. And you see CeeDee Lamb on the outside, and you see Brandon Cooks. Typically, in the past, that would have been a running formation. But see, here's what you end up doing. You can end up shifting, and all of a sudden, boom, you put Jake Ferguson, he shifts out wide. Boom. You put in motion Tony Pollard going outside. Now you've gone from what could be a running formation to a 5 wideout formation, depending on what the defense is doing. If the defense has got 8 men in the box, then okay. Then we're throwing the ball down the field. We're going to go empty backfield. If they don't put 8 men in the box, well, I've got 2 tight ends that can block. And so that's where the difference becomes of just a straight Dalvin Cook or Derrick Henry, where you're lining up and we're just going to run between the tackles. Also, this changes what you do with your offensive linemen. Your offensive linemen are now going to be quicker, more zone blocking, meaning that they're going to be doing more hooking as opposed to power blocking, where I'm just trying to line up, I've got my hand in the dirt, and I'm just going to blow you out the hole. This is going to be more angles where you're doing traps and you're doing more pulling. So it's a more dynamic offense. And as the offense gets more dynamic, so must the running backs. So that may be at least my synopsis of why position flex and why running backs now aren't quite as valuable, and you're not seeing the big name running backs get all the love that they used to. And hold your ears here. I need to cut my biscuit joints. Brother's got to work. So that's my take on the problem for the running backs. Barkley is looking for the big payday, but I don't think he's going to get it. Especially with Barkley, he had a good season. He stayed healthy, but his first game of the year was his best game of the year. And the problem is, I think the last 7 games of the season, he didn't have a single 100-yard game. So are you going to turn around and spend $14, $15 million for a guy that down the stretch isn't getting 100-yard games for the next 3 or 4 years? Probably not. So that's all I got to say about that. All right, good people. I'm going to catch you on the flip side. This is a corner shelving unit. Corner shelving unit. So we're going to put this in the corner as a shelving unit. I'm Mark Holmes, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.